We welcome you back to the Dubai Autodrome, where the series started for the penultimate round of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship. Well, Pierre-Louis Chauvet from France has retaken the series lead after Abu Dhabi's doubleheader last weekend. The Indian Jahan Daruvala in second place and Guan Yu Zhou in position 3. Special significance for Guan Yu Zhou just announced during the week to sign up with the Uni Virtuosi team in the FIA F2 Championship. And of course, this weekend, it is Chinese New Year as well.
好，欢迎回到我们国际汽联亚洲 F3第10回合的比赛现场。在结束了前9轮的比赛之后，目前乔维领先积分榜，以156分领先积分榜。那么接下来是达鲁瓦拉以146分位于第2位，周冠宇141分位于第3位。那么在这个周末还有一个特殊之处，那就是中国的新年。首先，让我们先来看一看车手们给我们带来的祝福。
Hello， 我是冠宇，在这里祝所有朋友们新年快乐。
Hi, I'm Alex Udaleda competing in F3 Asia. Happy Chinese New Year.
I am Isaac Hadjar racing with Evans GP. Happy Chinese New Year.
Hello, I'm Lorenzo Fluxa racing in F3 Asian Championship. 你好，新年快乐。
Hello, I'm Matthias Lüten. Ni hao, Xin Ye Kuai Lao.
Hi, I'm Jambo Bassi. Ni hao to all the Chinese fans and happy Chinese New Year.
Which is the start of round 4 here from the Dubai Autodrome from the F3 Asian Championship. 3 races across this weekend, today, tomorrow and on Sunday. And conditions looking pretty good for racing here at the Dubai Autodrome. It was somewhat overcast earlier in the day. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon local time. And let's take a look at this 16-turn track. Turn 1 and turn 10 at the end of those long straights. That's really where you're going to see the bulk of any overtaking. We didn't see a whole lot in some of the earlier rounds in the championship here, so the start is critically important. And as Ian and Feline mentioned earlier, China's Zhou Guanyu is on pole position as he celebrates the start of the Chinese New Year of the Ox, symbolizing strength and power, so we'll see if he's able to utilize that down into the run to turn 1. So important to get his nose in front going into that first turn, and then he'll be trying to do that and then just hold his lead to get some valuable championship points. Speaking of championship points, really it's those top 3 that we need to be looking at. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the French teenager, has won 4 of the races so far, 156 points. Then the Indian driver Jahan Daruvala with 3 wins under his belt, 146, and Zhou Guanyu with 2 races. In fact, the first 2 races of the season back here in Dubai. So this is a track he knows and likes. Now, Ayumu Iwasa down in 7th place there is starting from position number 3 on the grid. So watch for him to try and make up some ground. So you can see there the Abu Dhabi Racing by Premier Team well ahead in the team standings, but the top 3 on the grid today for race 10, Zhou Guanyu, Pierre-Louis Chauvet and Ayumu Iwasa. So let's try and meet some of the drivers and also get a roundup of all the action from last time out in Yas Marina.
Hey, I'm Dino Meganovic. We're here in Dubai for the F3 Asian Championship.
Hello, I'm Alex Ngbardino. I'm here for the Asian F3 Championship.
Hi, I'm Amna Al-Kubaisi from the United Arab Emirates, and I'm attending the F3 Asian Championship.
Pierre-Louis Chauvet racing here in Dubai in car number 3.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo Fluxa from Spain, racing in the F3 Asia.
I'm Jambo Bassi from Turkey, racing in the F3 Asian Championship.
Hi, I'm Casper Stevenson. I'm from England.
Hi, I'm Roy Nissani from Israel, racing for High-Tech GP in the F3 Asian Championship.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hadja, coming from France, racing in the Asian F3 Championship this year.
Hi, my name is Matthias Lutten, racing in the F3 Asian Championship for Pinnacle Motorsport.
Hi, I'm Reese Ushijima, and I'm racing with High-Tech Grand Prix in the Asian F3 Championship.
Hello, my name is Rafael Villagomez.
Hi, I'm Roman Stanek. I'm 16 years old from Czech Republic. I'm racing for the High-Tech GP.
I'm Iwasa from Japan.
I'm Zdenek Chovanec. I'm from Venezuela and I race in the F3 Asian Championship.
Hi, I'm Guan Zhou from Shanghai, China. I'll be competing in the Formula 3 Asian Championship.
Hi, I'm Jehan Darwala from India.
Hi, I'm Kush Mahini from India, racing for the Mumbai Falcons in the Asian F3 Championship.
Hello, I'm Irina Sidorkova from Russia.
Hi, I'm Alessio Deledda from Italy, racing in F3 Asian Championship.
Hi, I'm Roberto Faria from Brazil. I'm racing the F3 Asia.
Hi, I'm Nicola Marinangeli from Italy, racing for F3 Asia Championship.
Hi, my name is Patrick Pasma from Finland. I'm racing in the Asian F3 Championship.
Jahan Darovala started from pole and held a 1-point lead over Chauvet in the series, who started alongside on grid 2. But it was Pierre-Louis with another perfect launch to lead the field into turn 1. Roy Nissani and Patrick Pasma came together on lap 1, eliminating the Finn. And when the safety car pulled back in, Chauvet raced away for his third win to now lead the series. Jahan second, and an intelligent drive from Joel, who held off Beganovic for third.
Yeah, the start was really nice. I overtook Jan at the first turn.
Yeah, the race wasn't too good. I think still P2 in the end, so not too bad. But yeah, I just wasn't fast enough to win today.
Because obviously for the race 2 is quite important, and it was really difficult to stay behind.
Having mastered the start in race 1, Chauvet was again perfect off the line, leading Zhou and Beganovic, who launched into third from the third row of the grid. The safety car was deployed after Batignon and Luton came together, and again for a second time when Nissani and Marinangeli came together as well. It was fortunate for Zhu, who had run wide onto the straight just as the yellow waved. At the restart, Chauvet was again faultless, and he raced away to his 4th victory of the series.
I managed to do a gap like of 1.3, 1.4 seconds ahead of Guan Yu Zhu.
P2 was good enough, but actually I was quite surprisingly we had a really good pace.
No, I mean it was a tough race for sure. Starting from P5, already P3.
Jahan Darovala needed a good result to keep his championship on track, and he did just that in race 3. From pole, he led Zhu and fast-starting Hadja down into turn 1, and under pressure from the pack, was given breathing space when the safety car intervened after a nasty clash between Beganovic and Bolokbasi. Series leader Chauvet would miss the podium in 4th as he fought off Pasma, but out front it was a perfect drive from Jahan to take the win from Zhou and Hadja as the series now heads back to Dubai.
I think these last 2 rounds have been good, so I'm just looking forward to improving and hopefully winning some more races.
Yeah, end of the day, I mean, it's a good weekend in terms of the championship points.
I got past Chauvet and then just had a very good pace.
So highlights there from the last 3 races of the season, which took place down the road last weekend. At the Yas Marina circuit, and we will be back there again next weekend for the final 3 races of the season. And that's one of the attractions for many of these drivers, particularly those such as Zhou Guanyu and Jahan Darovala, who have dropped down from Formula 2, where they will be driving again this year, to the Asian Formula 3 Championship. It's very compact, 15 races spread over just 4 weekends, and valuable points on their quest to get an FIA super license. And for those of you not familiar with racing, you need one of those to get into the ultimate goal, which is of course F1. So some real hopes for Zhou Guanyu to be China's first Formula 1 driver of the future, and Jehan Daruvala to be India's next F1 driver too. But it is Pierre-Louis Chauvet who currently leads the championship, the 18-year-old Frenchman. He of course will also have his dreams of racing in Formula 1. So that's why people are tuning in from all around the world, and we're very much happy to have you with us. We'll be back again tomorrow and Sunday. Early start if you're coming in from Europe. But we will have live coverage of all the races here across the platforms. So we're just minutes away now from what will be the formation lap, and then a standing start here in the F3 Asian Championship. So the grid is clearing, and the drivers will be getting into the zone, trying to focus on their race plans. That long run down to turn 1, that is the first point of order, the right-hander, and the start, so important. So 21 drivers on today's grid, 12 of them are teenagers, so this really is about the stars of the future. There's another 3 who are only just 20. 15 nationalities in all. It is the Asian F3 Championship, of course, but drivers coming not just from Asia but from all over the world, and a very strong field this year. So the formation lap starts, and on the top left of your screen, that is Zhou Guanyu from China, who is in pole position, and behind him is the championship leader Pierre-Louis Chauvet. So will it be 3 or 33 to lead us into turn 1? 33, as you can see there, Zhou Guanyu, and number 3, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. On the second row of the grid, a great performance from Ayuma Iwasa from Japan to 3rd position alongside Daruvala. Then Roberto Faria and Roman Stanek on the 3rd row of the grid. Patrick Pasma, the Finn, next to the Spaniard David Vidales. Then it's Rhys Ushijima and Roy Nissany from Israel on the 5th row of the grid. Alex Connor and Cem Bolokbasi. Then Alexandra Bardinon and Lorenzo Fluxa. Rafael Villagomez and Alessio Deleda on the 8th row of the grid. Then one of 2 female drivers, in fact both female drivers on the 9th row. Sidorkova and Alkabasi, and then another Alkabasi, followed by Kushmani and Nicola Maranghelli. Now Kushmani was dropped 10 spots from the qualifying performance because he's had an engine change. That's the 3rd engine that he'll be using this championship, and as per the regulations you're only allowed 2, and so he has dropped 10 grid positions. So he will start from 20th position on the grid of the 21 drivers, but look for him to try to make his way up the field. Kushmani racing for the Mumbai Falcons India racing team, and a teammate of Jehan Daruvala, who is 2nd in the championship and starts from 4th position. So Zhou Guanyu will be very much looking to celebrate Chinese New Year with a win here. He topped both qualifying sessions, so he will be also on pole later in the weekend for at least one of the other 2 races. And this is the track where he won the first 2 races of the season in round number 1. And Chauvet, it was, who won the other race that we've had previously here at the Dubai Autodrome. So no surprise really that those 2 are in positions number 1 and 2 on this grid. Daruvala performed much better down the road at Yas Marina, and it will be looking for a bounce back performance here. to try to overhaul Chauvet at the top of the standings. But as I mentioned, it's pretty hard to overtake it outside of those long straights into turns 1 and turns 10. Didn't see a whole lot of overtakes earlier in the season. So that's why this start is so critically important. Now watch for the red lights to come on, and then when they go out, we'll be racing. The top left of your screen is Zhou Guanyu. He will be trying to keep his advantage into turn 1, and it's Pierre-Louis Chauvet on the top right. There are the red lights. Out they go, and we're off here in Dubai. And Zhou Guanyu looks to have made a pretty good start, but Chauvet is right there. Can he get his nose in front? Look at this. This is going to be very, very close. And Chauvet, what a start from the Frenchman. Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes the lead into turn 1. Oh, and Zhou Guanyu coming right back at him. Well, dramatic start here in Dubai. And Chauvet manages to hold off that challenge from the Chinese driver. A little bit of a wiggle there from Zhou Guanyu in second place. But Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the championship leader, with a textbook start. Wasn't a bad start, in fact, from Zhou Guanyu, but Chauvet just came down the inside into turn 1, even though he was a good car length behind. And those two already just beginning to put a little bit of distance into the pack and some action behind them. So, early drama here at the Dubai Autodrome. And we'll update you on the rest of the field just as quick as we can. Cars swinging around, and the orange and blue car there of Jahan Deruvala coming under pressure from the car just behind him. The number 12 car of Ayuma Iwasa, and it looks like Roman Stanek from 6th position has catapulted himself up into 3rd. Looked like someone was having a big bout of braking there, just out of shot. But Pierre-Louis Chauvet leads from Zhou Guanyu, a reversal of positions. Iwasa in 4th place ahead of Jahan Deruvala. So the big changes there. Chauvet into 1st, and in fact it was Patrick Pasma who's also had a lightning start here. The Finn driver started on 7th on the grid. So it's just a 30-minute race. Pretty much a sprint for these guys, but plenty of time for something to happen. So Chauvet, then Zhou, Pasma, Iwasa, Deruvala, Stanek, Faria, Bolokbasi. He's made a good start, the Turk driver. Started from 12th position and is up into 8th already. Then Nissany, Vidales, Ushima, Alex Connor, Bardinon and Villa Gomez in 14th position. And the field beginning just to stretch out a little bit. Roberto Faria there having a look. And Pierre-Louis Chauvet will be very much looking to bank 25 championship points to extend his lead at the top of the table. But Zhou Guanyu has shown that he has the pace around this circuit, topping both qualifying sessions with the fastest lap, just 15 minutes for each qualifying sessions for the 1st and 3rd races of the weekend. But that is the man who is leading the championship and leading this race with 2 laps in the bag now. And Alex Connor, 16-year-old driver, making his debut in the series, moved up into 11th position, just off the timing screen there. So he fell back a place or two on the start, but he's back into 11th. Well, you see the top 10 on the screen. After that, it's Connor, Ushijima, Bardinon, Villagomez, Fluxa, Marangeli, Sidorka Deleda, Alcubasi. That's Amna Alcubasi, then Khaled Alcubasi. And unfortunately for our Indian fans, Kushmaini is in the pits. So, don't know what happened to him yet. We'll try to get word as soon as we get it, but at the moment he is not out on the track. Pierre-Louis Chauvet with about a second lead or so over Zhou Guanyu. And Patrick Pasma is currently in 9th position in the overall standings. So this would be his performance of the season so far by some distance. So a couple of surprising moves in the standings already here in Dubai. With that slingshot down into turn 1 from Pierre-Louis Chauvet at the start of the race. The number 12 car of Iwasa trying to close behind Patrick Pasma. A degree of comfort now with this track. This is the 4th race in just a few weeks that they've all raced here, with plenty of qualifying times and free practice sessions as well. So they're getting very familiar with exactly what they need to do around this 5+ kilometer circuit. And the pink and turquoise colours of Patrick Pasma in 3rd position. Very good race from him so far. So Zhou Guanyu has closed slightly. You can see that gap behind Chauvet just going down to 0.8 of a second as we are coming up to about the quarter point in this race. So still plenty of time for some changes at the lead. Zhou Guanyu will be looking to pounce if the Frenchman makes a mistake. But he hasn't made too many mistakes so far this season. And in fact, he's on a pretty good streak. He won races 6, 7, and 8. 3 consecutive wins. And then a 4th place finish last time out in Yas Marina. So Chauvet's consistency as well as his wins have seen him clock up all those championship points. He's never finished lower than 5th position. Just constantly banking points. Now let's see what the gap is. Oh, and it's come right down. There you go. 0.4 of a second. We can see on the screen that Zhou Guanyu is lining up Pierre-Louis Chauvet, trying to get just a little bit closer. And watch for the long straight on the back side of this circuit between turns 9 and 10, and that is where Zhou will be looking to try to use the slipstream and to see if he can get past the Frenchman. Ian spoke to him before the race, and he was wishing a happy Chinese New Year and good fortune to all his Chinese fans. I know many of them will be tuning in and joining us for the coverage. So 20 minutes or so to go here in this race in Dubai. Pierre-Louis Chauvet leads, but right behind him on screen right now is China's Zhou Guanyu, who has just again signed to race for the F2 Championship. That'll be his 3rd straight season. He's finished 7th and 6th in the F2 Championship, so a very, very good driver. Oh, and he's having a look here now at Chauvet, but not quite close enough. But the Frenchman will be feeling the pressure and keeping a very close eye on his mirrors. So can he use this long straight to take another look here? Not quite close enough this time. But the gap has come down again. Under 0.4 of a second now. So a good couple of early laps from Chauvet. But Zhou Guanyu now is trying to take the bull by the horns as we enter the year of the ox. And his Chinese fans would love nothing more than to see their hero win on the first day of this new year. Zhou said he was up late last night, not celebrating Chinese New Year's Eve, which is traditional back in his home country, but in fact working on the car with the team, getting everything right in the setup. So he is very much dedicated to the task in hand. And he is refusing to let Pierre-Louis Chauvet get away from him here. And Patrick Pasma in 3rd position, also going very, very well indeed. No changes further down the field, either in the top 10 or in the second half of the field either. And that is why the start here in Dubai is so important, because it is hard. There are places to overtake, and we've seen some breathtaking moves in this championship so far. Will we get another one today? So a little bit of breathing space, and that will just update in a second on your screen. It's nearly half a second now, and Pasma is definitely closing up, so he's within 1 second of Zhou. And that would be an incredible performance if Patrick Pasma, he's on course for his 3rd podium of the year so far. Sorry, his 1st podium of the year so far. He's first in 3rd place. As we see David Vidales in the number 16 car going through there in 10th position. Hotly pursued by Alex Connor and Rhys Usajima. In 8th position, that is the Turkish driver of Cem Bolukbasi. And he has a huge amount of fans from his gaming career, which he's managed to flip into an actual career in a car, and he's pretty handy. So the top 3, and quite a long gap to the 4th place driver of Ayumu Iwasa, who will be disappointed to have fallen out of the podium positions. Iwasa just 19 years old. Pasma on screen there, 1 year older at 20. And this is turning in to a dogfight, isn't it? Look at these 3 really compressing now. The Frenchman has been pretty calm under pressure, but Zhou Guanyu in 2nd place has been about half a second or less behind him all the way through. And Rhys Usajima has moved up 1 place from 12th up into 11th. He's gone past Alex Connor, and Amna Al-Khabaisi has also made some progress, passing Alessia Deletta further down the field. Otherwise, no change here as we approach the halfway point of this race. Now the Frenchman has looked pretty calm, but Joe will want to stay right behind him just to try to pressure him. We haven't seen too many bold attempts. Sometimes you see drivers swerving all over the back, trying to put the leading driver off. And Chauvet just looks to have perhaps eased out a little bit here. Patrick Pasma is going very, very well indeed in third place. And he is closing on Zhou Guanyu. So even as Zhou is trying to get past the Frenchman into the lead, he's got to be careful that any move he makes doesn't backfire, because Pasma is on fire today. And you can see from the timing, Pasma now closer to Zhou than Zhou is to Chauvet. And seemingly closing all the time. Oh, and a battle here. That is towards the end of the field. Amna Al-Khabaisi battling with Alessio Deletta, who's trying to claw back that spot that he lost a moment ago. But Amna is holding him off for now. As we come back to our leaders, Chauvet in his debut season here in the F3 Asian Championship. And these top three now looking pretty good for podium positions, with a almost 3-second gap back to Iwasa, the Japanese driver, in 4th position. Bit of a disappointing race so far for Jahan Daruvala. He is 2nd in the championship, but he's going to lose ground to Zhou Guanyu if the positions stay as they are. But it's Chauvet in front. You can see now Pasma really trying to line up the Chinese driver. Pasma on course for his first podium of the season, but not happy with 3rd. He wants to keep moving up. So Chauvet has a 10-point lead in the championship, but that will increase, of course, with a win here. Zhou would go into 2nd place by just about 3 points, with Jahan Daruvala falling back to 3rd. But we have 5 more races, so still lots and lots of points on offer here before this championship concludes at the end of next weekend. So all the action was at the start of this race, with Pierre-Louis Chauvet diving down. He had the inside line, even though he was further back on the grid, but he had the perfect start. It looked like Zhou Guanyu was able to cover, but then he opened the door and Pierre-Louis Chauvet came storming through into the lead, and that is where he has remained ever since. Patrick Pasma in the bright pink and blue car, just coming through at the back of this trio, started in 7th position, had an absolutely storming start, and these three have been pretty careful ever since. No real mistakes to speak of as we pass the 2/3 point in the race. And the gap down to 4th place, just opening slightly, with Iwasa out on his own in 4th. And a bit of action further back. With Roy Nassani under fire there, the number 14 car. As we come back to our leaders. So another lap in the books. Pierre-Louis Chauvet from France completes his 11th lap, and he is 0.4 of a second ahead of China's Zhou Guanyu. And Zhou having another look here. He's just pulled slightly away from Pasma. He knows that time is running out if he is to make a move. Now, Zhou Guanyu, I've said that we haven't seen a whole amount of overtaking in this championship so far. But in Yas Marina, in one of the races, he had a problem at the start and had to rejoin from the back of the grid and cut through the field in just 30 minutes to finish all the way up in 5th, overtaking more than a dozen cars. So if anyone is able to complete an overtaking move here, you'd think Zhou Guanyu has as much chance as anyone, and he's keeping Pierre-Louis Chauvet in his sights. So that's Bolombassi in the battle for 7th place, ahead of Nissany, Faria and Vidales. All pretty tightly packed there. And all 4 of them in the points. 25 points for 1st place, all the way down to 1 for 10th. Familiar scoring for most of you, I'm sure. Turkish driver has just turned 23 years old this week, so a happy birthday to him. But he's got his work cut out if he's going to hold on to 7th place. Now, Zhou Guanyu, what can he do here? Had a little bit of a look with 12 laps in the books. He is still putting the pressure on. Will he be close enough to perhaps have a go at turn 10 on this lap? He just needs to keep the pressure on, try to force a mistake from the Frenchman. Pasma right there, ready to pounce if either of the two ahead of him make a mistake. Rafa Villagomez has moved up into 13th position, overtaking Alexandre Bardinot. Oh, and some drama there in the back of the field. Oh, definite contact there between the 25 car. Oh, well, some drama late in this race here. And that was Alexandre Bardinot, who had just overtaken, in fact, just been passed by Rafa Villagomez. And it looked like he was clashing with Lorenzo Fluxa. So some contact between two of the European drivers. And yeah, that's Bardinot, who is getting out of his car. And the yellow flag's sure to bring out the safety car. So that may spell the end of Zhou Guanyu's chances here. With less than 4 minutes on the clock, it's looking unlikely that we'll be able to clear that car and get back to racing, but we'll see. Of course, Zhou Guanyu won't know that right now, so he will be desperate to try and make a move here, see if he can get past Chauvet. So the safety car will be coming out. And that was back to Bolombasi, who's coming under pressure from Roy Nassani. Unclear if Nassani had seen that the safety car was coming out, but this, unfortunately, will likely spell the end of the race. Well, unfortunately for Zhou Guanyu, but fantastic news for Pierre-Louis Chauvet, with Bardinot's car still on track there, and just a couple of minutes on the clock. It's well off to the side, but the safety car is out. And so a bit of a procession now for these cars as they wait to see if there's any chance they can squeeze in one more lap. So Pierre-Louis Chauvet on course for his 5th win of the season in race number 10. That is a pretty good hit rate. And as I mentioned earlier, has not finished lower than 5th position. So some great consistency as well as some fantastic speed from him. Zhou Guanyu, Patrick Pasma rounding out the podium positions. That is the Finn there. Patrick Pasma, and then Ayuma Iwasa, Jahan Daruvala, Roman Stanek, Cembolek Bassi, Roy Nassani, Roberto Faria, and David Vidales in the points. Beyond them is Reese Usujima, Alex Connor, Rafa Villagomez, Lorenzo Fluxa, Nicolo Marinangeli, Irina Sidorka, Alessio Deleda, Amna Al-Kubesi, and Khaled Al-Kubesi, with Bardinot out of the race. And Kushmani was able to, well, he's back out We're still waiting for word on what problem he's had, but he's only completed 7 laps, the Indian driver, so he is at the back of the field. So as the clock ticks down to 0, we should soon have confirmation of the result. Always a bit disappointing for drivers and fans alike, but nothing that anyone can do in this situation. With that contact that forced Bardinot out of the race, coming so late in the race. Well, Kishmaini might have had a problem, but I can tell you that he has absolutely been storming round at the back of the field so fast that he is provisionally on pole for tomorrow's race. So that just tells you why, even though he was well out of the points and never really likely to catch up 5 laps on the field, absolutely worth him getting back out there and putting in some fast lap times. So that is a dramatic turnaround in the Indian driver's fortunes. The disappointment of having that issue earlier in the race. He has put in a 1:57.4, and that is quicker than all the drivers at the top of the field. So we'll get confirmation overnight of that, but Kishmaini, who is right at the back of this field, will start on pole position for tomorrow's race. So a silver lining there for the Mumbai Falcons driver. And his teammate, Jahan Daruvla, looking to finish in 5th position here, so he'll pick up 10 points. So Chauvet will move on to 181. Ahead of Zhou Guanyu on 159 as we take the checkered flag for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. His 5th win of the season, and a very, very strong drive by the Frenchman. He did the hard work at the start of this race, starting from position number 2, but overtaking Zhou Guanyu in the very first turn, and both drivers knew how critically important it was to have a good start. Zhou Guanyu had a pretty good start, but Chauvet's was just that much better. And the Shanghai driver never let him get away, but didn't have an opportunity to have a serious look throughout the race. Patrick Pasma, the result of the season so far for him, in 3rd position. That is Daruvala, who will now be in 3rd position in the championship. Just 3 points behind Zhou Guanyu in 2nd. So Pierre-Louis Chauvet has extended his lead fairly considerably here. He leads with 181 points. 22 points ahead of Zhou Guanyu. Good performance by Ayuma Iwasa as well, the young Japanese driver, who has logged his 2nd 4th place finish of the season, still yet to score a podium, but he's had couple of 4ths and a couple of 5ths, so showing steady improvement here. He'll He'll be disappointed having started in the top 3. But Patrick Pasma, what a start from him. Pasma had a couple of DNFs last time out in Yas Marina before a 5th place finish in round 9, but his first podium of the season. So Kushmani had a gear issue, but managed to fix it in pit lane and then get back out for another 7 or 8 laps. And wasn't it just worth it, setting the fastest lap? And that is how the grid will be set for tomorrow's race. So the leaders come in to Parc Fermé, and the rest of the field peels off and go back to the garages. There is your race winner, becoming a pretty familiar sight here, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. PLC, his 5th win in 10 races, and now has a 22-point lead at the top of this championship. And it looks like it means just as much as the previous 4 wins, doesn't it? Very happy indeed. Ayuma Iwasa, 4th place finish, but will take the Rookie Cup win. So confirmation here of the still provisional results, but not expecting those to change. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Zhou Guanyu and Patrick Pasma rounding out the top 3. Ayuma Iwasa taking the Rookie Cup win from 4th position. Jahan Darivala in 5th. Roman Stanek, Chembolik Bassi, Roy Nissany, Roberto Faria and David Vidales rounding out the points positions. And that completes round 4, race 1, which is the 10th race of the season here from the Dubai Autodrome. So race 11 and 12 coming on Saturday and Sunday here. Morning time, local time in Dubai. And then next weekend, we'll be back to the Yas Marina circuit for the final 3 races of the season. So the majority of the field managed to get 15 laps completed, even though it was a finish under safety car. Kushmani got just about half that done with 8 laps after that gearbox issue he had towards the start of the race. So let's see what Patrick Pasma, his first podium position. He is down in the pits. Let's see what he has to say.
for the second. So keep an eye on that. It sees the orange number 54 can find a way past the number Johnny Kazoo here. And that's the back place. Behind them is Heroes, 5.6 seconds. The gap between the 54 and the number 7.
In turn 1, as we can take a look back now at the highlights from this race. It's a blast down the inside of Zhou Guanyu, and Patrick Pasma coming around the outside into the next couple of turns. He then overtook Jahan Daruvla, who is at the moment in third place, but Pasma then was able to pass him and get up into third. And that's how it stayed for the rest of the race. Those trio of drivers pulled away from the rest of the field. And there was still a little bit of action in various places in midfield throughout the race, but at the top, that was Patrick Pasma. A rare mistake from him, but he had a fantastic race overall. Starting in 7th position and finishing on the 3rd step of the podium. There was, of course, that late incident with Alexandre Bardinon, the French driver, who had some contact. This is the one. And then a spin here. Oof. Multiple contact. Bardinon jumps out of his car. That brought out the safety car. And unfortunately, that is how things ended. So the checkered flag under those flashing yellow lights for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Well, we'll be back tomorrow for the next race. Please join us then for round 11.
Sweden, how far that drops it down the order as the
1、2、3、1、2、3。